Righto, you've done the hard bit. You've opened a brokerage account. Good on you. And now you're sitting there staring at a screen full of ETFs, all these tickers and random letters, and you've got no idea what to actually buy. Here's the good news, and it's going to save you a heap of stress. It is way, way simpler than the finance crowd wants you to believe, because a confused punter is a paying punter. Straight up, which ETF you pick matters a whole lot less than two other calls, where you hold it and what it costs you in fees. Nail those two plus one cracking little Aussie perk I'll get to called franking credits, and you can pick the most boring ETF going and still do better than the bloke who spent a month agonizing over the perfect one. So grab a coldie and let's sort it, no fluff. First up, what to actually buy, and I've got great news, it's dead boring. You do not need a shopping list of 20 ETFs. Honestly, over here you can do the whole job with just one. We've got these ripper all-in-one ETFs. You might have seen tickers like DHHF or VDHG floating around, and a single one of them holds thousands of companies from all over the world, automatically balanced and rebalanced for you forever. You buy that one over and over and you're basically done. That's a complete, properly diversified portfolio in a single trade. If you'd rather build it yourself, easy. Chuck in an Aussie. Shares ETF like VAS or A200 for the local market, a global one like VGS, or an S&P 500 one like IVV for the world's biggest companies, and maybe a bit of a NASDAQ ETF like NDQ if you want more tech and can stomach a rougher ride. A base, a global engine, a bit of spice. But you genuinely don't have to. One good all-in-one and you're sorted. And notice what's not on that list. A folder of hot individual stocks your mate reckons are about to moon. Straight up, if the highly paid pros mostly can't beat a plain index, you and me picking stocks of an evening probably won't either. Boring and broad wins. Quick tip on those all-in-ones too. Some like DHHF are basically 100% shares. Full send. Best if you've got decades ahead of you. Others, like VDHG, mix in a bit of bonds for a smoother ride if the big drops keep you up at night. Same idea, just pick the risk level that suits where you're at and then leave it alone. Now, quick but important one. You'll see all these American tickers online, the SPYs and VOOs and all that. Here's the deal. For most Aussies, you want the ASX-listed version, the one that trades right here on our own market, not the US one. Why? Because buying US domiciled ETFs can drag you into US estate tax if your balance gets big, extra paperwork and currency faff you just do not need. The ASX-listed versions hold the exact same companies. They just do it in a wrapper built for us. Same index, way less hassle, sorted. One more handy thing while we're here. Most ETFs let you switch on a dividend reinvestment plan, a DRP, so the income they pay just automatically buys you more units. Set that up once and your snowball quietly builds itself while you're off living your life. Next call, and this is the big one for tax. Where do you actually hold it? Now, unlike a lot of countries, we don't have an ISA or a handy tax-free account you can dip into whenever you like. Over here, you've basically got two homes. One, your own name, a regular brokerage account. It's flexible, you can access it any time, but your dividends and gains get taxed at your marginal rate. Though hang on, because franking credits and the 50% capital gains discount soften that a lot. 2, super. Inside super, it's taxed at just 15%, and after 60, it's completely tax-free, but it's locked away until you retire. So the honest rule is this: money you genuinely won't touch until retirement. Super is unbeatable on tax. Money you might want before then, a house deposit, a career break, a bit of freedom in your 40s, that goes in your own name, where you can actually get at it. Most people want a bit of both, and that's exactly right. And a little bonus if you're saving for a first home. The First Home Super Saver scheme lets you use super's low tax to build your deposit faster, then pull those extra contributions back out for the house. So even the locked one has a side door for the right goal. The point is simple: match the account to when you'll actually need the money. All right, franking credits, the perk I promised. And it's a properly Aussie thing that makes investing here better than people realise. When an Australian company pays you a dividend, it's usually already paid 30% company tax on those profits. So they hand you a franking credit for the tax that's already been paid on your behalf. What that means is, come tax time, you don't get taxed twice on the same money. And here's the kicker: If your own tax rate is below 30%, you actually get money back from the tax office. Refunded, a dividend that's basically prepaid your tax for you. Quick example so it lands. Say a company pays you $70 of fully franked dividend. That comes with $30 of franking credits attached because the company already paid that $30 in tax. So the tax office treats it like you earned $100. If you're on a 30% rate, it washes out and you owe nothing extra. If you're on 19, you get a good chunk of that 30 back in your pocket. It's a big reason Aussie shares and Aussie ETFs like VAS are so tax-friendly for a lot of people, especially retirees and lower earners. Global ETFs like VGS don't come with franking, so that's one reason plenty of Aussies keep a decent chunk in local shares. And on the growth side, there's the other Aussie perk, the 50% capital gains discount. Hold an investment longer than 12 months. And when you sell, only half the gain even gets taxed. The system is literally rewarding you for being patient, which, funnily enough, is exactly what makes you money anyway. Second big call, and it's basically free money, so we won't leave it lying about: fees. Once you've decided you want, say, an S&P 500 ETF, you'll find a few different companies selling you the exact same index at different prices. That price is the management fee, and it comes out every single year quietly, whether the market's up or down. And they are not the same. One might charge you 4 cents per $100 a year, another the identical index for 5 times that. Sounds like nothing. It's not. On 50 grand, over 30 years of growth, that little gap compounds into thousands of dollars you handed over for the exact same product. So when 2 ETFs track the same thing, you check one number, the management fee, take the cheaper one, and make sure it's big and well traded, so it's easy to buy and sell. That's the whole game, honestly. And this genuinely matters here, because loads of Aussies have quietly been copping high fees for years in dud super options and pricey managed funds, and never even noticed. A cheap index ETF is how you opt straight out of that. While you're at it, check your brokerage too, what the platform charges you per trade, because if you're buying small amounts often, a $5 a pop adds up quick. Cheap fund, cheap platform, and you just keep more of what's yours. And here's the bit that actually makes all of it work. You just keep buying. Don't try to pick the perfect moment, because the perfect moment only ever turns up in the rearview mirror long after it's gone. Set up an auto invest every payday, buy your ETF in the good times and the scary times alike, and let time and compounding do the heavy lifting for you. Automate it so your own nerves can't talk you out of it on a bad week. And when the market tanks, and it will now and then, that's not a disaster. That's your auto invest quietly snapping up the same ETF on sale while everyone else is panicking. The Aussie who picks one simple ETF, holds it in the right spot, keeps the fees low, and just keeps buying will quietly run rings around the one who's forever tinkering and second guessing. And look, the biggest lever of the lot is just time. A bit invested in your 20s has decades to compound and can leave a big late lump for dead. You're not trying to be some genius stock picker here. You're just refusing to overpay and refusing to quit. That's the whole trick, honestly. So there it is, no fluff. Pick one boring ETF, buy the ASX-listed version, hold it in the right spot for your timeline, keep half an eye on franking, keep the fees low, and just keep going. Do that, and you've done the actual work of investing, which turns out to be mostly a matter of not overcomplicating it. If that cleared the fog for you, do us a favor and give it a like so it reaches a few more Aussies stuck staring at that same screen, and subscribe if you like your money talk straight and jargon free. Now go set up one auto invest before you close the app. Easy done.